Welcome to the Positive Spiritual Living Podcast, brought to you by Unity on the Bay. This is your positive path for spiritual living.
Insert the blank. So for Earth Day Sunday, I thought I would go back to my roots. Okay. One-liners. I think I'm really funny with one-liners, so I have a few of them for you. Why did the leaf go to the doctor? It was feeling green. Okay. They got worse, by the way, so I apologize already. How can you tell that the ocean is friendly? Somebody read the same comic book. Why is grass so dangerous? It's full of blades. Why did the sun go to school? To get brighter. What did the ground say to the earthquake? You crack me up. Probably the earthquake is doing a lot better than I am right now. What kind of plant do you grow on your hand? Palm tree. All right, and why are recycle bins so optimistic? They're full of cans. Now I'm happy. I'm happy I ended on that joke. You're probably happy I just ended the jokes. But I love that. It's full of cans. And I think that's why we are all here. Because we want to move from a place of being full of fear, limitations, and can't, to moving and journeying into a place of love, being open to the possibilities, the opportunities, the limitless potential that we have as individuals and as a human family, and move into a place of can. And I think that's really important when we're looking out into the world. You know, there's a lot going on. Like I feel like I tell you every time I'm up here, because I'm very conscious of the things that are going out into the world. There's a great quote by Albert Einstein that says, "Out of clutter, find simplicity. From discord, find harmony. In the middle of difficulty lies opportunities." As we celebrate Earth Day Sunday, and yesterday was Earth Day, and there was the March for Science. Today, some of you may have even gone to the AIDS walk earlier this morning. We talked about a few things that are going out into the world. When you look out into this earthly plane, there seems to be a lot of clutter, a lot of stuff happening. And within that clutter, there is the opportunity to recognize just how simple it can all boil down to, which is moving from a place of can't, a place of limitations, a place of not recognizing our own power as individuals and as a human family, and starting to be more and more open to the possibility that we are able to bring love and peace and joy to a great, great expression here on earth. And so if we can move through that and if we can journey through that, all of the clutter, all of the discord starts to find harmony. And we recognize that we are part of that harmony. Now, I think the first thing that we have to do, though, to be able to do that, is to recognize our place within it, to take responsibility. You know, and when I say the things that are going out into the world, or in the world, I also recognize that there's the outer world and there is also our immediate world, right? Like what's going on with our friends, what's going on with our families, maybe at school, at work, what is happening with the relationships that we have. And we also have then the internal world. What's going on in our minds? How are we talking to ourselves? How are we limiting our beliefs on our greatness, on our truth? And so if we can really own and take responsibility for the ways in which we got to where we are, whatever that process was, I think it then helps us recognize our power within it and then be able to realize just how much we can do to chart the course of our evolution, of what's to come for us individually and as a human family. And a lot of times I think we minimize our impact. And I was thinking back on the Merriam-Williamson quote, some of you may be aware, like our greatest fear is that we are more powerful than we think we are. And a lot of times when we talk about minimizing our impact, minimizing our footprint, right? We talk about it from the sense of there's so much that we could be doing if we step into our truth, if we step into our passions, our great purpose. Today, I'm actually thinking about recognizing the power that we've already used. Because what got us here, our footprint, it's already power that we've used maybe consciously or maybe unconsciously, right? Like the way that we treat Mother Earth, the way that we treat each other sometimes, the ways in which sometimes we say things that we recognize don't come from the intent of love or of peace. And so if we really own our stuff, if we really take responsibility for it, then we can go to a place of finding the courage to then chart a new way of being, right? Like if we recognize that our steps are what took us here, we can now start looking at the next steps from a place of love, from a place of possibilities, and really own where we're headed. Really own that we have a role in the game of life. Really own that we play a part in the life of humanity. Now, how do we find a new way of being? I actually love that we're celebrating Earth Day. I love that the Green Up family was with us to celebrate a christening. Actually, that's what's taking place this morning. Our own internal christening, because we are open to the fact that within us lies all of the possibilities for love, for peace, and for joy in the world. Now, in Unity, we believe that the external world, what's going on outside, is a reflection of what's going on inside our consciousness, inside our mind. So I love that we can actually use Earth Day Sunday to look at the outside world, what's happening there, and start asking the questions, if it's happening out there, what's going on in here? Not only that, but some of the ways in which we are now learning to respond to the outside world, climate change, being more green, is a way that we can then look at how we can use that same type of process, the same type of tools to work in our consciousness. So there's this book that I pick up every Earth Day around here. It's called The Green Intention. And it says, what does it mean to green your life? On the surface, you might think it means to recycle or to purchase, cook, and eat organic foods and beverages, or to turn the lights out every time you leave a room, even after you have converted your light bulbs to save energy. But think for a moment about greening your life at a deeper and broader level. Are you truly thriving now? Are you creating success, or are you creating fear? What path are you on? Now think where you want to be. What do you visualize? What do you want to do? How are you serving the world? How do you want to get to your vision? So how do you want to get to that vision that you have for yourself and for the world? How is it that you are allowing this divine energy that we call life to move through you and express out into the world? One of the things I think that we have to do first is to recognize where we have our source, where we have our energy, our renewable resource. I actually have a green car. It's 100% electric, which is great. I just plug it in. It always gets charged from its source. And I can only drive about 96 miles before having to recharge it. But if we really look at source and look at the source of our never-ending supply of energy, that which is within us that provides us a clean consciousness to move out from, we can start to see how we recharge ourselves. Like how many of us, for example, have walked in nature recently and connected to nature? How many of us have been meditating to recharge, which is a wonderful thing? How many of us are meditating daily, though? Right? Like I have to charge my car daily because the reality is that the source is unlimited. But when we start moving out into the place of time and space, there is limitation, right? When I plug my car in, limitless energy comes out of it. But when I start driving in the world, I only have 96 miles to go before I need to recharge. So the question becomes then, if you are meditating, and that's providing you all that energy that you need to move from a place of can't and fear to a place of love and expressing that which you want to express, wonderful. If you need to add a little bit more meditation, if it's not just coming on Sunday, but maybe coming on Wednesday evening for our hour service, whatever it is, look at the ways in which you can charge yourself with God. Whenever you face a challenge, how can you stand in front of a challenge and know and surrender to that power within you? Now, once you do that, you are able to clean the consciousness. You know, part of it for me is whenever we connect to Source, we get that recharge. But the ways in which we express that out into the world moves through our consciousness. And so how do we make that energy, that consciousness, fully clean? How do we allow ourselves to not have any limits or boundaries as to how it shows up? And we can do this, especially on Earth Day Sunday, by looking at how we reduce, we reuse, and we recycle. Because where is it that you're putting your energy? Are you putting your energy in something right now that is draining you? Are you putting your energy in the past, reliving something that has caused you to be in fear and be in pain? Where do you want to focus? Are there things in your life or in your world that you are neglecting that are calling out for your energy? And so when we reduce, what do you want to reduce? Well, how about the negativity? Reduce that which brings you to a place of thinking that you are limited, that the challenges going on in your life or going out into the world can't be solved by you moving further into your own power. How about reducing the people around you that when you talk to them, make you feel a little crummy about who you are, right? I mean, we all tend to have at least one or two moments with certain people. How about at least being honest with those individuals and speaking up and saying, you know, when I hear that from you, it doesn't make me feel powerful. It doesn't make me feel loving. It doesn't make me feel like I can bring greater peace into the world. And so how can you reduce that which limits you and is holding you down? Reuse. How can you reuse the things that are working in your life? You know, I know some people have like just one affirmation that they like to say over and over and over again because it works for them, right? I don't know if there's people in this room that do that, but I know of people and they just keep reusing that affirmation because it works. What about reusing, you know, I had a friend who I loved hanging out with. She was great. Mainly because she told me how great I was. But you know, then life got busy and I had all this stuff to do and I didn't connect with this friend who made me feel good about who I was. How can you go back and reconnect to those people in your life? How can you we're standing here on a Sunday. How can you connect and reconnect and continue to connect more to this spiritual community that tells you that you are powerful, that you are loved, and that fear is no longer the way of being for you? And then recycle. What do you want to let go of? You know, fear is an interesting thing because fear in some ways has helped us, well, not in some ways. If you're here, your fear helped you get here, right? And in some cases, fear supported you. You may have been really hurt by a relationship, and so you decided to, at one point, just kind of like be by yourself, that sort of thing, not get into a relationship until you worked on certain things. Like fear may have worked for you, but the question is, are you now stuck as a result of it? What are the things that may have worked for you in the past, and so you use them, but now you have to let go for you to move further into your own evolution, your next evolutionary step, and through that, the evolutionary step of all humanity. And so those are the three: reduce, reuse, and recycle. Once you do that, I think that really what it boils down to is that you become more mindful. You become more mindful of the truth of who you are. You become more mindful of the things that allow you to shine that truth or to block that truth from being manifested. You become more mindful about the ways in which your footprint, be it carbon, be it spiritual, whatever it is not only affecting your reality, but the reality of those around you. Now, as we celebrate Mother Earth, I love that we can then move into sustainable joy, right? Like we want to move into a sustainable future when it comes to Mother Earth, right? Well, we can move to sustainable joy by doing these things, by using these tools and these practices, because by doing them, we are moving out into a world, and the external world is no longer a world that sees anger, sees or feels hurt, because it is a world that really embodies the possibilities, the love. And internally, you're no longer in fear about your own greatness. You're no longer blocking your truth from coming forward and expressing your creativity. I ran into a friend of mine who is a longtime congregant here at Unity on the Bay, who has for decades been involved in the green movement, especially in South Florida. And what I realized as I was talking to him, and he's going to share a little bit with you, is that he had a divine idea. And when he received that divine idea to be able to then express it out into the world, he had to work out some stuff. But what's happening as a result of working out that stuff is that he's changing the world. And so what I want to do is invite you to welcome up here Luis Rodriguez, who's going to tell you a little bit about his own journey.
Thank you.
Welcome. Happy Earth Day. So Luis, tell them a little bit about this divine idea that you received.
Well, first of all, good morning, everyone. And thank you, Juan, for inviting me to be up here. And just like I said in the 9 o'clock service, I think that the way that Juan connects our exterior environment with our inner environment is so beautifully, put. So I love that. So, the project that Juan is referring to is what do you call it? It's our condo recycling bag. And I'll share with you why this is important. Again, this is not a shopping bag, it's a recycling bag. And through my efforts for many years, I've been working with environmental nonprofits. And I was attempting to find solutions to some environmental challenges that we have. And one of them that a lot of people do not know is that you are not allowed to put any plastic bags in your recycling stream, in your recycling bins. Did you guys know that? No plastic bags in your recycling containers. When you place recycling bags or plastic film in your recycling container, those the bags, they damage the machinery in the recycling facility, taking them like 3 hours per day to cut off the plastic bags from the machinery. Just the same way that when you vacuum your house and you have strings that are getting tangled in your vacuum cleaner, that's exactly what happens in the recycling facility. So this has been a huge problem for the recycling companies around the country. So working with waste management, I came up with this idea of what? Of creating a recycling bag for condo residents, because most people who live in condos, they don't have much space in your apartment. So they ended up putting your recyclables inside a plastic bag, and then you walk down to your recycling bin and you dump your recyclables with the plastic bags. And then, again, guys, it's a no, 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 no. Tell everyone, all your friends. So, so the idea of the recycling bag is the following. First, I merged basically a recycling brochure with a recycling, reusable, and educational bag. So basically, in one side, it tells you all the things that you can recycle, that you can put in your bin, and the things that you cannot put in the bin. Now, what do you do with the other things that you cannot put in the bin? What do you do with them? Like electronic waste, styrofoam, plastic bags. So on the other side, I created a little guide for our community, in this case, Miami Beach and Miami, where you can take your plastic bags, where you can take your electronic waste, where you can take your hazardous waste, and things like that. So By doing so, this is helping the recycling companies and also helping residents to recycle right and recycle more often. So this is an idea that now many other municipalities notice this project, and they're asking to reproduce the project for their municipalities. So it's one of the little ideas that, amongst a few others.
Well, when he told me, I didn't think it was a little idea. I thought it was a big idea, and I was really grateful. At first I was like, oh, wow, that's somebody that I knew would be thinking this way. And then I said, well, actually, why wouldn't somebody from Unity at the Bay be thinking this way? Because we are open to the creative, divine ideas that are merging through us to be able to, from a place of love, make changes for ourselves and for the world. So tell me a little bit more, though, about what you had to maybe reduce, reuse, or recycle to get you to a place where you believed in this idea and made it possible.
Well, I guess I would say, Juan, is that first has always been my internal God-driven respect for all things around me, for nature, for life, for our animal friends. That has always been my driving force, and so as I move into the process of the connection that you made, reduce, reuse, and recycle, it's challenging because many times we are exposed to a lot of barriers, and especially in the environmental world today. Like I said, guys, climate change is real and it's happening. And all of us have to be very, very aware and learn about what's going on around us so we can all build a tool of change. But in terms of the reducing and recycling, it's really important to take a look at ourselves, and so we can reduce our, like you said as well, our negative thinking process, because there's a lot of negative, what we can interpret as negative forces around us, and it's very hard for us to look at those elements and try to keep it a positive image and look at a positive future. So being able to reduce the negative energy and focus primarily on the positive elements of our lives, that there is a possibility of creating a better future. And we have very creative minds. Our ability to create is limitless. So I feel that we need to always refocus our efforts into positive thinking so we can create a better future, create the world that we wanted to live in. And in terms of the recycling element, I also would say that it's a continuous process of recycling my thoughts, recycling our ideas, and so we can, especially the things that no longer serve me or serve us, so we can really, again, create a better planet for future generations. So that's what I think.
Well, thank you, Luis. Yeah. So one of the...
And by the way, guys, I do have a few of the recycling bags that afterwards I can share with, not many, but I can share with you guys at the lobby. So thank you so much.
So one of the other reasons why I asked Luis to speak is because I believe in the power of this community, and I believe in the power of what he's doing. So I'm going to invite you, if you believe in that also, to hold that idea in your prayers, in your thoughts, in your vision, because he's talking to municipalities around the country that will hopefully be starting to use these themselves around the country. So he also has a green tips for everyday living, how to recycle everything in the world that you may own. And we're going to put this on our website and make sure that you get that with you. So with that, it's just, I really wanted to share that there are these divine ideas that if we really move out of the fear of our own greatness and our own impact in the world, we could really hone in. And some of them are big, and some of them may be a little bit smaller. So I just want to ask maybe one person who is doing something small to help Mother Earth. Who would like to share of one thing that they're doing to help Mother Earth? Deborah. Yeah, it's on.
Yeah, you guys can hear me? Okay, cool. I have a friend, or several friends, that created this organization called Fertile Earth Foundation. And so what they're doing is we have to give back to the Earth Mother so that she can rebuild her soil. So they're doing home pickups of our garden waste and our kitchen waste to go to local farms so that they can incorporate it back into compost, that we can bring it back into the soil. Because when we put all our scraps in the garbage in plastic bags, they have no way of breaking down, and so there's no way of us giving back to the Earth Mother. So I thought that was
Beautiful,
cool.
Deborah.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to ask you a follow-up question. What are you doing to work on the environment going on within you?
Meditation is really powerful, and I just am now starting to get it after all these years, that I don't have to do anything but sit and wait on God. And so he's doing a magnificent work within me, recycling my whole DNA. It's really good stuff. It's good stuff.
Beautiful. Well, you get an I am a good steward bookmark. All right. Well, so yesterday we had Don Miguel Ruiz and his sons here. And out of all the gems that I got one specific that I want to share with you. A moment of clarity without a followed action is just a thought that passes through your life. A moment of clarity followed by an action is a pivotal moment that changes your life. So the question becomes, in these moments of clarity, in these moments of recognizing your truth, in these moments of reducing negativity, recycling that which no longer serves you, reusing that which fills your heart with joy, are you allowing them to be moments that just pass you by? Or are you allowing them to become pivotal moments, not only in your life, but when you do that, they become pivotal moments that change the course of history? I hope it's the latter, because just like Luis, part of our community doing these amazing things, and Deborah, imagine all the things that we can do when we allow ourselves to know our truth, to know our power, and let it shine together. Let's do this. Thank you, and namaste. So we're going to invite the ushers to come forward. As our ushers are coming forward, I invite you to recognize that this is one of the ways in which you are able to chart an evolutionary step for our community, because when you give, you are not only giving in gratitude for what you've received, but you're also giving, consciously or not, to what Unity on the Bay as a spiritual community can do in the world. Now, I also want to just invite you, if you had a specific amount that was coming up for you to give, to think about giving a little more. Remember that your impact, your footprint, can actually make a huge difference in the lives of so many people. And so if you are on Facebook, I invite you to click on the link. If you are wanting to go green and no longer fill out those love offering envelopes, in the back of your seats, you have these postcards that show you how to text and give here on Sundays or wherever you're at. So you can do that. And we're going to take a moment of sacred pause to just bless your love offerings with that energy, with that vision of what you have for yourself, for Unity on the Bay, and the world. Just infuse that love offering with that thriving green energy, and let us speak our love offering blessing together. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Amen.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Positive Spiritual Living Podcast, brought to you by Unity on the Bay, a spiritual community located in Miami, Florida. Unity on the Bay is supported by the generosity of its community. If you'd like to make a donation or learn more about Unity on the Bay, please visit unityonthebay.org. You can also follow Unity on the Bay on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for even more positive spiritual inspiration. Until next time, thanks for listening and many blessings. Namaste.